okay, this is how the data actually leads towards conversion, because one part of the website is getting traffic to it, the other part of it is actually converting and driving the bottom line of the marketing team so that you guys can prove your value. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Marketing by Design, powered by the one and only AMA Columbus. Here at MBD, we dive into real conversations with industry leaders of every expertise, covering everything marketing, creativity, design, to help you find your niche and become a more effective version of your professional marketing self. Whether your goal is to just get hired or to hone your craft, MBD is the audio destination for marketers, business owners, and entrepreneurs in the 614. So today we're going to have an awesome episode for you guys. By the way, my name is Andy of MMG Design, in the case this is your first time tuning in. And if it is, be sure to leave a 5-star review after this rating. This is a gentleman's agreement. If you feel like I have earned your time today and provided value, I'll let you judge till the end of the episode. But leave us a 5-star review, help us grow. We're trying to help all the marketing people in Columbus, Ohio get jobs, get placed, and offer as much value as we can. So this episode, we're going to be diving 100% into websites. And if you guys don't know my background, I do own a web design agency here in Columbus. So this is just me at my absolute peak, but I actually do a ton of user research into diving into studies, what is effective for conversions, design, branding, and making an effective website that customers come back to and actually buy from. And if you guys haven't heard of Thomas McKinley, he has an awesome newsletter called Science Says, and we're definitely going to be linking all of that below in the show notes. It's just such an effective, powerful newsletter, not sponsored or anything. But this guy does actual research studies, and he funds grants to go in and fund marketing teams to be able to find what's actually converting in marketing nowadays. Has these fantastic case studies. So I'll link that newsletter below if you want to check that out, because that's definitely a high value resource. But no matter what area of marketing you're in, the website should be, whether you're a designer, creative, product marketer, marketing teams leader, even on the social media side of things, you're in paid ads, SEO, the website has some kind of a central hub in terms of the role it plays in the marketing team. It should be ideally, note this is very traditional talk, but that bottom of funnel conversion point. And if the website isn't converting or it's not being as optimized as effectively as it could using some of the stuff that we're going to unpack today, then the whole business is going to suffer and the marketing team's not going to look good. So you want to make sure that you're really pulling all of these small strings. And when it comes to the actual conversion and effectiveness of a website, whether it's a product website, a software website, or a heavily branded storytelling website, there should be some kind of conversion that is the main driver of what you want to happen on the website. So there's going to be 10 segments, and I'm going to go through these very quickly, but there are studies that go with each of these that I'll reference, and we'll link to all the studies in the show notes below as well. But this is just me diving in and really trying to provide as much value in terms of getting the easiest things that you can change on a website to get more conversions, to make your marketing team look as good as possible, but also very simplified format. So, like I said, a lot of these are referenced from Thomas McKinley's newsletter, which again is linked below. But the first segment we want to dive in is just a over-scoped problem, like what the problem with most websites are. So most companies, most marketing teams hype up a huge new website launch, and visitors pour in. You can see the metrics, whether you use Moz, SEMrush, Google Analytics, any of these things. You can tell how many page views you're getting, whether it's to your homepage, your product pages, service pages, and it looks awesome. You can really tout the horn of increased traffic, and especially if you're on the paid ad side of things, getting traffic to the site is essential. But if the site isn't converting, then obviously it's falling on deaf ears. So Thomas McKinley says most websites fail because they're not designed with conversion in mind, and advice can only be really rooted in peer-reviewed studies and not opinions. So as we dive into more of these segments, you're going to see, okay, this is how the data actually leads towards conversion, because one part of the website is getting traffic to it, the other part of it is actually converting and driving the bottom line of the marketing team so that you guys can prove your value. So the second segment we're going to go into is be specific, not generic. The biggest pitfall out of everything that you see is vague messaging. According to a 2011 study, specific descriptions consistently outperform generic ones. If you're an image editor, don't just say that. Say that you're an automated background remover for $179 per year. Specificity increases sales and satisfaction. Another example, what I want you to do on Monday, whether you're going back to your marketing team, or you're a designer and you're looking over the landing pages on your website, be very rigorous in terms of finding the one thing that you can change and be more specific. And bias is such a key role in this factor, because I'm telling you, we all feel like we sound way too aggressive when we're talking to other people, but in reality, no one else is thinking that of yourself. For example, I just had a call with one of my friends, Luke, who's a CPA in Lewis Center, Ohio, and he has no conversion on his website at all. And I said, buddy, he's so conscious, and he's such a nice guy, but he's so conscious about not being clear and directive in terms of what he wants people to do on his site. So call to action button, this is where a big area where this applies. Call to action buttons that say learn more, or continue to the next page, or dissect further, things like that, or browse, or anything like that, are so very passive that the user doesn't actually know what to do. And I promise you, and I guarantee you the same way if you're listening to this, you want to be told what to do. Our time is valuable. Be very clear and direct with your calls to action, whether it's book a call right away, you send them to a call booking link, whether it's download the PDF, start your free trial. Don't just say aphorisms that are just alluding to what the end product, the result, the next step is. Be very clear, because it shows that you value other people's time, and especially when it comes to other things on the website, especially for copywriters, be overly direct, and then if you go too far on that front, get the feedback to then become more passive. But it's always good to over-index on being clear rather than clever. So segment number 3 is to highlight just the top 3 benefits, and this might be one of my favorites. So when it comes to features, less can be more. A study by Eschew and Charlton showed that highlighting too many features and benefits dilutes the impact of your strongest ones. McKinley emphasizes, highlight only your best 3 benefits. It makes offering appear stronger. Instead of listing 20 features, focus only on the 3 that truly set you apart. So I had a little case study example here that I wanted to share with you. And I'm not going to say the name of this company, but they are a yoga studio in Ohio, a very rapidly growing one, so that might have given it away. But they tout all of these benefits in their product marketing on their website and their social media. And this is a whole list of all of them that I found in just one campaign. So I will list them off. Improved mental health benefits. This is a yoga studio. Improved mental health benefits. Local. Affordable. Convenient. Yoga mats for use. Family plans available. First class is free. So that whole suite of services, by the way, this was in one ad. Which of those would you advertise? If I'm getting bombarded with all of these different things in one ad directive, I have no idea what actually applies to me. And I don't want to do the mental bandwidth as a consumer to say, okay, this is the one thing that resonates with me the most. What truly makes website copy and website content effective is a clear directed outcome and a clear directed deliverable. So of all those I just mentioned for the yoga studio, you focus on 1, first class free and affordable. Boom. You get people in the door right away for the first time, and then that was the entire goal of the campaign. So you're not skipping over all of these different things, trying to cram your users and your visitors and your customers with all this potential info that they may not even apply to them, but make the target customer in your mind very clear and deliver a clear message to them. So really weed through and only list the top 3 benefits and not 20 features that just go on forever. Segment 4, use before and after images. Visual storytelling matters. A 2013 study by Che and Hulk found that before and after visuals significantly boost customer willingness to buy. McKinley recommends include intermediate steps for credibility, show progress, not just the final result. So we see before and afters in marketing all the time, and I listed a ton of industries where this is very common. But what you want to do is demonstrate your product's impact with a clear visual journey that shows how it transforms lives or solves problems. So I see a lot of designers and creatives do this, especially web designers. You see like the before and after of a website or a muralist, before and after the painting of a wall, of a website redesign. A lot of times you'll see on sites they have this slider image where you can kind of showcase the before and after. There's a lot of AI tools nowadays where you can, like image upscalers, where they let you have a visual interaction where you can drag before and after. There's one on tinypng.com, which is a lossless image compressor. So you can see how similar the image quality is from before and after. A couple more industries where this is really prominent is designers, like I said, barbers, contractors. Fitness is a very big one. And a big thing I took away from this study by Chain Hawk is on the website, you want to show the process. So maybe just the before and after isn't all that you want to dive into. UX designers and product designers on your marketing team do a great job in their own portfolios of dissecting case studies. So going through the very initial seedlings of where the idea began and mapping that whole journey from start to finish. And if you have a person on your marketing team that has this skill set, then foster that in them, because the storytelling is not something that is easy. It's not something that's very common on a marketing team either. So if you have a UI and UX lead or a product designer that has built these amazing case studies for their portfolio, ask them to apply that to a product and tell the visual story that appeals to the customer of the product, the service, the business that you guys are offering. That's a very strong lever to pull. Okay, so moving right along, segment number 5, showcase imperfect ratings. If you think a 4.9 star rating is a flaw, you should think again. A study titled "Too Good to Be True" found that products with the ratings between 4.0 and 4.5 stars outperform those with a perfect 5 stars. McKinley explains people distrust perfection, showing realistic rating builds trust and increases conversions. So there's a couple examples where you see this on product marketing sites. And the example that comes to mind for me is when you see a 4.9 star example on an Amazon rating product, I'm much more likely to believe it than, all 5 stars. And I think there's a balance here, because I think in total, the amount of reviews plays a big role in the weighting factor, at least for me personally. But other sites that you see this on is, software ranking sites like Product Hunt and AppSumo. If you guys don't know, AppSumo is a lifetime deal software marketplace. And they actually do their rating system in tacos and not stars, which is just a great branding element. But the expectation for AppSumo, if you guys don't know what this is, it's a software development auction place where the software is in development. So the expectations that the lifetime deals on these pieces of software are not going to be perfect. They shouldn't be. They're literally an iteration, and they're launching limited time releases of lifetime deals so that they can increase their user base, start to get some people on the platform, and get feedback. That's the whole purpose of this. So the reviews are very key, because people are looking at the reviews to see not if there are any downsides, but what are the downsides in relation to what's most important to me. So taking that approach really is a great virtue signal of authenticity and, just trustworthiness, because no one's perfect. And I think anyone that tries and puts on the front, obviously you want to put your best foot forward on your website. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but don't be afraid to showcase imperfect ratings, because that shows that you are listening to your customers, you're iterating on your product, and that you're a business and you're just a real person. So don't be afraid to showcase 4.9 star ratings on your site. Segment number 6, order pricing plans from left to right. When displaying pricing, order it from lowest price on the left to highest price on the right. This aligns with how users naturally read and perceive value. McKinley, again, shares customers perceive smaller numbers on the left as lower priced overall. So a pro tip on this on your marketing site, instead of showing total prices, highlight the price difference. This is mind-blowing. For example, say $10 more instead of $60 premium. So think if you have different tiers of access available, 3 different levels of service if you're a service-based business and you're creating the pricing page on that marketing site. Don't advertise what each one costs, but the difference between them. So add, say, plus $10 for added benefits, $20 for another slew of benefits, and make it very clear what you're getting for the additional price, and not so much package it into one unique price that is then upsold. So that way you can avoid the act of the perception that you're trying to make one package seem more superior and not justifying each of the deliverables that go into it. It really just comes down to clarity. And all this makes sense to me as I read through the study, was that you read left to right, you want to have the accessible option on the left. I call this kind of the movie theater example. So this is kind of an advanced take on pricing strategy for a website. So whenever I'm in development phase or building out a pricing section, I always offer some kind of consultation back to the client I'm working with and say, okay, when it comes down to your pricing strategy, you want to have an accessible option, and then your higher options should be weighted relative to what you want people to choose. And by nature, 90% of people will choose the middle option. So depending on how you price it, and there's ways around this, but if you have a lower accessible option, you should make it very clear that that's the budget option. If you have a middle option, you could tout that one as being the best value, maybe highlight it a different color on the website, name it something clever, make it very clear that this is what is the best value or whatever most people go for. So it should have some kind of enhanced benefit or free trial or something like that. And we're going to talk about free trials next, but make it clear what you want the main conversion point in terms of pricing to be, because that will come across on the website. And especially if you're optimizing for conversions, you want to be clear and not clever, as we said, and that applies to your pricing as well. So segment number 7, keep free trials short. How long should a free trial last? Research from a 2022 study published in Management Science Journal found that 7-day trials, this applies to both product marketing sites and service sites, convert better than 40 or 30-day option. McKinley says on this, shorter trials create urgency, encouraging users to engage immediately. So for service or in-person businesses, no more than one touch point or enough to experience the full benefit. So if you're giving a free trial for a membership or a lawn care business or something like that, and you offer a service for free, never be stringent. And this applies to my business too, is that you never compromise on quality, you always compromise on scope. So this is just a general principle that you apply to anything in pricing. So if you have to offer a free trial, if you want to offer a free trial, give them the full experience. And this is kind of branching on to segment number 8. Limit usage and not features. Free trials shouldn't limit features. They should not limit features. They should limit usage. A 2020 study, according to Digital Paywall Design, found this approach boosted subscriptions by 31%. 31% just by changing their free trial model. McKinley explains that let users experience your full product, but with limited access to avoid overwhelming them. If you combine this with the scarcity of keeping them short, then they're going to dive in right away, get the full benefit of the product, which is the entire goal behind the product, the free trial in the first place. If you guys don't know, the example that I had listed with these segments is Alex Hormozy's $1 Million Offers book. He gives the example of a drug dealer in terms of offering free trials. And I love this example, despite how vulgar it can be, but you want to give this principle of when it comes to free trials, you want to give people your strongest hit first. So this is what drug dealers do, unfortunately, is that in order to get people hooked, they give them the strongest stuff for free in the beginning because they know that will get them coming back. So apply that to your business. If you guys have a product or a service that is truly good and you believe people will come back to you, have no holds barred in terms of letting them have it, but you still want to keep that balance of maintaining scarcity and not devaluing the service. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, so coming back to the home stretch, we have segment number 9, reward loyalty. If you want to retain your longtime customers, small rewards can make a big impact. According to another 2020 study, Customer Inertia in Marketing, that was titled, we showed that offering perks like increased bandwidth reinforces loyalty. And another quote from McKinley, don't give these rewards to new customers. It might incentivize them to chase freebies elsewhere. So you want to reward loyalty and really make your customers the hero of the journey. If you guys haven't read Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand, this is this entire marketing message, is you want to make them the hero in the story. So if people feel like they are being valued from your product and service, this may sound very obvious, but you really want to offer increased perks for people that have loyalty, because there's some element of human psychology that tells us that, yes, I've done my time, I deserve these features that you've touted to me. And if you're a product user on a marketing team, for example, and you have a customer that reaches out and says, and anytime they lead with, I've been a customer for X and Y number of years and I love your product, give them anything they want right away, whether you're in support, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in design, branding, product marketing, marketing manager, director. Anytime a customer shows loyalty, reward them over the top. And this may sound counterproductive, but I'm telling you, this is what creates superfans of your business, which is of your business, of your product. It's what's going to make your marketing team shine and create actual brand resonance and people that are loyal to you even in the hard times. And bouncing off of that, this rounds it out perfectly. Generosity during hard times, final segment number 10. When customers hit hard times, do not cut them off. Offer discounted or downgraded plans instead. Ross, Malloy, and Carlson's 2020 study showed that the goodwill approach leads to increased long-term revenue. Generosity fosters loyalty. When customers recover, they'll often spend more. So if you guys haven't read Kevin Kelly, 1,000 True Fans, this is the one-to-one unscalable approach that Hormozi talks about as well. Each of your customers is someone, when it comes to a website and you're communicating them via the copy, the pricing, the usage of your product or service, or what a trial looks like. Generosity and terms, if your customers can perceive that you are being generous to them and you really want to make something work, when they have hard times in business and the first thing that starts to go is their marketing expense, which as we know tends to be the case, especially in hard times, you have to justify that ROI to them and be very generous in terms of what you can deliver. Again, never compromise on quality, only compromise on scope. So keep your customers engaged as long as possible, because LTD is the biggest thing that you're optimizing for. And when it comes to a website, that should be the first step of the funnel. People make that transaction, they get into this purchase, and then they can become lifetime fans and users of your product, service, brand, and really make them super fans. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode. These were the 10 segments that will make your marketing website more effective according to the actual science and research. Again, heavily referenced Thomas McKinley and his Science Says newsletter. That'll all be linked below along with all of the studies. Be sure to leave a like, review, and a rating on this show if you found any value from this. If you can take one of these things away to present to your marketing director or marketing team on Monday, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and stay tuned for next week. Again, I'm Andy of MMG Design. Thank you guys for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week. Peace.